In Manoa Valley, an historic restaurant draws diners with delicious food and garden views.
It's also a place of hope, just as it was when the Salvation Army first built it. Our Annalisa Burgos reports.
The Waioli Tea Room was built 100 years ago as a vocational training facility for orphan girls. The workers are no longer orphans, but they are women that are starting new lives. Aside from scones and egg dishes, the Waioli Kitchen and Bake Shop serves second chances for the recovering addicts and former inmates who work there. Lead baker Dita Baza has struggled with addiction for 3 decades and spent most of her life behind bars.
I didn't have the drive to stay sober. That was the biggest struggle, staying sober.
She took cooking classes in prison and after getting out 19 months ago, found work at Waioli.
For people like me who's been living in the revolving door of the prison system and drug addiction, we have to learn how to relive without drugs, how to make money the right way.
I was addicted over 20 years.
It's also a struggle for cook Tiffany Salimoa Kikahu. She was released from prison in 2018.
This has been the longest I ever stayed clean, and being out.
Many of the women are also mothers. Waioli offers them a bridge from cell to society.
Because it's not always easy for someone that's coming out of incarceration to find a job or to find a job that would treat them like this.
Like found treasures. That's what Ross Anderson calls them. He and his wife Stephanie, a pastor who volunteered at the women's prison, took over the restaurant 4 years ago and has stayed true to its original mission.
Be a safe place with no alcohol, clean and sober workforce, and help keep them on track. And we end up teaching them a little bit how to cook and a little bit how to bake, but a lot about life skills. So it's a lot about how to live your life right.
Without the program and their faith, the women say they'd be back in lockup.
I got a lot to lose, So every time I feel like giving up, I always turn and I look. My kids is behind me.
Because my life is really centered around my faith in God. I've lasted so long.
But for every Dita or Tiff, Anderson says there are dozens more who relapse.
They had lots of support there. The women there had a network. But when they got out, they'd go back to their abusive relationship or a dysfunctional family situation or something and go right back into that cycle of abuse and using and cycle back into prison.
For these women, Waioli is an ohana that helps break that cycle.
I guess you get so used to failing that you kind of lose hope in yourself. And for me, it's just a daily struggle in making sure I stay on track.
Annalisa Burgos, Hawaii News Now.
So great to see them.